The old mansion stood silent in the moonlight. Detective Sarah Miller stared at the heavy wooden doors, her notebook ready in hand. This was her biggest case, yet a priceless diamond necklace had vanished from the safe, and everyone in the Thompson family was a suspect. "The necklace disappeared between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. last night," said Mr. Thompson, the wealthy businessman who owned the house. His gray hair was messy, showing his worry. Only family members knew the safe combination. Sarah walked into the study where the safe was. 5 people were in the house that night: Mr. Thompson, his wife Eleanor, their son James, their daughter Lisa, and their elderly Aunt Martha. Each had a different story. Eleanor Thompson claimed she was in the garden, tending to her roses. "I always water them at sunset," she said. But Sarah noticed her hands were perfectly clean, with fresh nail polish. James Thompson said he was playing video games in his room. "I never left. You can check my online gaming history." But when Sarah looked, his last gaming activity was 2 days ago. Lisa Thompson insisted she was taking a long bath. "I needed to relax after a hard day at college." However, the bathroom was completely dry when Sarah checked it in the morning. Aunt Martha, who lived with them, said she was sleeping. "I take my medicine at 6 p.m. and go straight to bed." But the security camera showed someone her size walking past the study at 8 p.m. Mr. Thompson himself said he was on a business call in the kitchen. "It lasted 2 hours. You can verify with my business partner." Sarah did check the call lasted only 30 minutes. The detective examined the safe carefully. No signs of forced entry. The combination lock showed slight smudges on certain numbers. Inside, she found a single strand of gray hair. Sarah walked around the house, noting every detail. In the garden, she saw fresh mud on the path to the study's window. In the kitchen trash, she found a crumpled piece of paper with numbers written on it. Near the safe, she discovered traces of rose fertilizer on the carpet. The pieces started coming together in her mind. Sarah gathered everyone in the living room. The tension was thick as they all sat down, watching her nervously. "The necklace was worth $5 million, Sarah began. A tempting target for anyone. But this theft wasn't about money. It was about revenge." She pulled out her notebook. "Mrs. Thompson, you claim to be in the garden, but your hands show no signs of gardening. Instead, I found rose fertilizer near the safe. You were marking your path in the dark." Eleanor's face turned pale, but she said nothing. "The truth is," Sarah continued, "you discovered Mr. Thompson was planning to sell the necklace, your mother's necklace. The one she made you promise to keep in the family forever." Mr. Thompson stood up suddenly. "How did you?" "The crumpled paper in the kitchen had the safe combination," Sarah explained. "You wrote it down because you rarely used it. Mrs. Thompson found it while preparing dinner." Sarah turned to Eleanor. "You waited until everyone was busy. You used the combination, took the necklace, and hid it somewhere only you would know. Your hair was found in the safe, the same gray shade you've refused to dye, just like your mother." Tears rolled down Eleanor's cheeks. "Mom made me swear to keep it in the family. When I heard George was selling it to pay for his gambling debts, I couldn't let it happen." "Where is it, Eleanor?" Mr. Thompson asked softly, his anger fading. "In Mom's old music box," she whispered. "The one in the attic. I'm sorry, George, but I couldn't let you sell our history." Sarah watched as Mr. Thompson hugged his wife. Sometimes solving a mystery wasn't about catching a criminal. It was about understanding a family's heart. Later, as she drove home, Sarah thought about the case. The necklace was back in the safe, but with a new agreement. It would stay in the family, as a reminder that some things were worth more than money. The moon was still bright as she parked at her apartment. Another case solved, not through force, but through understanding human nature. That's what made her love her job. Every mystery had a human heart at its center, waiting to be understood. Sarah smiled as she closed her car door. In her 15 years as a detective, she'd learned that the biggest mysteries weren't about missing jewels or locked rooms. They were about the secrets people kept, the promises they made, and the lengths they would go to keep them.